Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. As I said earlier, that unfortunately organizations like FIFA and many other such institutions which organize these mega events like FIFA World Cup, they all are running after capital. It's like, the United States and Saudi Arabia are the greatest allies in the world, but at the same time, while the US and many other Western democracies raise issues about human rights violations, whether it's in China or India, they will never say a word against Saudi Arabia's human rights violations. So it's exactly the same kind of approach that the West has towards these Middle East theocracies. They have this approach of, overlooking all the human rights violations of Islamic republics or Islamic states. But when it comes to their convenience, whether it comes to their trade, whether it, the petrodollar economy that runs the Western empire, they overlook all these issues. And therefore, all their criticism and their, all the reportage that happens, the Western media's focus is democracy like India, or is it's focused on what is happening in China and other countries. They remain mum when it comes to Islamic states because they have vested interest, they have their trade agreements with them, they have their petrodollar economy which is running their empire. And that is precisely the reason that the Western countries who are right now in a massive economic crisis, whether you look at Europe or United Kingdom, we know that they are going through a very hard time and they need money. So money is basically the moolah. The moolah is the real mantra here. They will not utter a word against Qatar or any of the Arab countries as long as they are drawing money, drawing capital from these countries.
Well, absolutely, Ratan, Shraddha, as well as Aarti Singh, Tiku Aarti Singh, we leave it at there. But let's see if the West really comes out and if there is at all a word of condemnation on the Islamic preacher who's been called the hate preacher, who's been called to the biggest football event. But for now, a quick roundup of all that's making news from across the country. Social activist Poonam Bidlani, reported to have helped Shraddha on at least 3 occasions, narrated the conversations she had with Shraddha in connection with Aftab. The social activist, while speaking to the public, spoke about the kind of the thrashing that Shraddha underwent and how she was subject to physical abuse by killer Aftab.
दिन तो नॉनवेज खिलाने के लिए उसका झगड़ा हुआ था। जब उसने मुझे बोला कि मैंने पूछा क्यों मारा है आपको, ऐसे बताया कि मैं लिविंग में रहती हूँ एक लड़के के साथ में, उसने मुझे बहुत मारा है।
और इस बताया कि इसके पहले भी मारपीट करता था, कोई वजह?
हाँ, ऐसे बोल रही थी कि कभी भी उसको गुस्सा आता है मुझे बहुत मारता है, नेक्स्ट डे फिर अपने घर चला जाता है, फिर अगले दिन आता है।
The Delhi police is reported to have recorded statements of at least 11 people so far in Maharashtra in connection with the Shraddha murder case. The list of the people interrogated includes friends of Shraddha, her landlord, Shraddha's former manager, flat owners as well as other officials in Aftab and his family's place of living. The Delhi police meanwhile further interrogated the staff of 5-star hotel in Mumbai where Aftab is reported to have interned at. The Delhi police is reported to have recovered portions of Shraddha's skull amid ongoing search operations in connection with Shraddha murder case. The discovery is the 7th instance of bones recovered by the police so far. Delhi police has moved an application for carrying out the polygraph test of Aftab, following which a narco test is said to be conducted on the accused Aftab Poonawalla. A plea meanwhile has been filed in the Delhi High Court seeking a transfer of probe of the Shraddha murder case from the Delhi police to the CBI, with the allegations against the Delhi police being that they have shared all details of the investigation, which is not permissible by law. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot commented on the Shraddha murder case, calling the incident unfortunate, further stating that politics as well as targeting a particular community was being done following the incident. BJP in a press briefing revealed a sting operation wherein A possible candidate for the app for Rohini in the national capital was asked to pay at least 80 lakhs to secure a ticket for the party.
रह रहकर आम आदमी पार्टी के दफ्तर के अंदर से, आम आदमी पार्टी के नेताओं के बीच में से जिस प्रकार के स्टिंग उभर कर आ रहे हैं, ये अपने आप में दिखाता है कि भ्रष्टाचार के दलदल में अरविंद केजरीवाल जी और उनकी आम आदमी पार्टी आज डूबी हुई है, पूरी तरह से सनी हुई है।
Mangaluru police has informed of a major tragedy that has been averted in the city after details emerged in connection with the recent blast that took place in an auto rickshaw in Mangaluru. The accused Sharik is reported to have only managed to assemble one cooker bomb and was planning something big before the cops got to him. Delhi court adjourned a hearing in connection with the leaked CCTV footage of jail Delhi Minister Satyendra Jain after an advocate representing the Delhi Minister issued a notice to the ED over allegedly leaking the tapes from the Tihar jail to the media. Slipping into a very short break for now. Do not go anywhere. On the other side, we'll get you live coverage. Live reporting from Mangaluru as international terror plot now stands busted. And Republic accesses a second CCTV of killer Aftab from 18th of October. He's seen walking with a backpack at 4 a.m.
Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed by and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot. A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept her body in the car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began emanating from the car in which the body was kept. The police have arrested the suspect and a probe has been initiated. The Karbi Anglon police... A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex-gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway, in which several people suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred at the Navale bridge after a suspected brake failure. Emergency operations by the fire department were carried out successfully after a fire broke out at the temple of Rajagopuru in Bhadrakali Amman temple in Sivakasi in Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu. And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi
And the spirits are high as the FIFA World Cup kicks off in Qatar. Take a look at this special report that is a detailed account of the kind of fever that has gripped ahead of the FIFA World Cup.
Football fever has taken over Doha. But 3,000 kilometers away in Kerala, the mood is equally jubilant. Take a look at this village that has spent 23 lakhs to celebrate the FIFA World Cup. And in Maharashtra's Kolhapur, shrines for the FIFA teams have been created ahead of the opening ceremony. And when it comes to football, West Bengal stays always ahead. Hoarding of football players like Messi and Ronaldo, posters of various teams, all outshines the streets of Bengal. While India celebrates the beginning of World Cup, Qatar loses on its own home turf against the Ecuador by 2-0 lead. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
काम से के झगड़िया स्वभाव से अब ये लोग गुजरात નું ભલું કરીએ કે ભાઈ મને કોઈ જેને ખબર ના હોય કે તમારા સુખ દુઃખની ચિંતા કરી શકે
QSMTHE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
The Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex-gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway, in which several people suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred at the Navale bridge after a suspected brake failure. Emergency operations by the fire department were carried out successfully after a fire broke out at the temple of Rajagopuram in Bhadrakali Amman Temple in Sivakasi in Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu. And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner after.
Several people, including 8 children, were killed on Sunday after a truck rammed into a roadside settlement in Bihar's Vaishali district.
Very shocking incident coming to light from UP, where ex-lover has been arrested in killing of a woman whose body was chopped and found in a well.
BJP MLA MP Kumaraswamy was beaten up by angry villagers near the Kudur district in Mudiger. Sources said that there was a public outcry against the authorities.
Will the opposition change the game?
भाजपा का जाने का टाइम आ गया है। अब गुजरात के अंदर नई राजनीति होगी। 27 साल से जो ये लोग लूट रहे थे, अब इसको बंद करने का टाइम आ गया।
Will the BJP buck the trend?
गुजरात ने नफरत फैलावनारा लोको एमने गुजरात क्यारे स्वीकार करतो जेमणे जेमणे गुजरात ने बदनाम करवानी कोशिश करी छे आ गुजरातनी जनता एमने वाड़ी छोड़ीने साफ કરી નાખ્યા છે।
December 8th with Arnab.
Terrorist Sharik posed with a cooker bomb right before the Saturday blast. This is the picture on your screens. That's out on Republic now. Police claim several handlers were directly in touch. The main handler, Mateen, reportedly is in Dubai. Terrorist Sharik was in Coimbatore for several days. So is there a direct common link to the two blasts? A larger blast was planned in coastal Karnataka, claims the police. They say a big attack now has been averted. In more news, this is a big controversy over Zakir Naik's invite to the FIFA World Cup for talks. Why is a hate preacher even invited to the world's biggest football event? And Republic accesses a second CCTV of the killer Aftab from the 18th of October. That's the image on your screens where you can see him walking with a backpack. This is early morning at 4 a.m.
A very good afternoon and thank you for staying with us here on Republic. I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. Ever since the last few days, remember there has been that one question that Republic has been asking. Is there a link between what happened in Coimbatore to what happened in Mangaluru? Are the two blasts connected? Is this just the tip of the iceberg? And look at how the story today has broken. The police in the state of Karnataka earlier has held a detailed briefing, and one after the other, these are important details that have emerged in the entire story. In fact, the first Karnataka minister, this is Dr. Sudhakar, who's reacting on the blast. Do remember the role of the handler, Abdul Mateen Taha, who belongs to the ISIS here. He's wanted by the NI, and the Karnataka cops too now say, we are looking for this man. First up, let's listen in to what we've just heard from the Karnataka minister.
Issue, it is a dastardly act of terror and violence, which is like spreading hate and hatred violence. We condemn this. Karnataka state is looking from all angles. We know the person who is involved was a traveler in auto rickshaw. By mimicking that he belongs to a Hindu, he was carrying a Hindu's Aadhaar card as his identity. So our police forces have found out that he is Mr. Muhammad Zakir, who hails from Tirthalli, Shimoga district, and he is involved in the 2020 case, and similar incidences of hate is involved in certain occasions, and he was absconding from past 2 years. So today maybe he wanted to blast around the Durga Parameshwari temple in Mangaluru. Couple of months ago, in the month of October on 23rd, I think, in Coimbatore, similar incidents has taken place. There also they had planned to blast around the temple. But as you know that the Maruti van where he was traveling, it got also similarly exploded much before this temple. This person also, Mr. Muhammad, has gone and met the person in Coimbatore. So we have traced the places where all he had moved around in the last 2 months. The police has left no stone unturned. They are looking from all the aspects, from all the angles, and we are also trying to find out whether he has a connection with the international terrorist organization, whether the banned organizations are behind this, or whether any sleeper cells are active in this area, since we are bordering to the Kerala state. So every aspect the state is looking at it very seriously, and in cooperation with the support of our national agencies, NIA and other important investigative agencies, we are doing all our, the efforts are very sincere, and I am very confident we will nab all those masterminds, culprits who are behind this act of shame.
So that is the first response coming in from the Karnataka minister, who makes it very, very clear that this is just the beginning of what he believes is going to be a larger investigation that unravels the entire plot. Now, what has the police been doing? Remember, the police till now has raided about 5 locations related to Sharik in just the last few hours. One of them is also his home. And the image right now that you see on your screens on the extreme right is the image of the recoveries that have been made by the cops. And look very, very carefully. A lot of them are bomb-making chemicals, bomb-making devices that also have been recovered.
made by the cops in relation to the Mangaluru blast case, and these are some of the items which has been seized, and we can understand that there are electrical gadgets, apart from which there is also a pressure cooker and gas cylinders too which has been put in, and some lighters, and there were also mobile phones too which was put in. This was the gas cylinder that I'm speaking about, which was seized from the room of Sharik in Mysuru, and we also have several other artifacts too which has already been taken in by the cops as well, and we can clearly look at it. One of the key items was a triangulation point of an AK-47 vehicle. So this was something, I beg your pardon, an AK-47 gun, a weapon which was kept here, and also several other items too which has been seized and put in here, which were basically mainly chemicals like potassium nitrate, sulfur, as well as phosphor too. So this is very important over here. Some other items which are coming in over here as well. So it is being stated that the amount of weight which is being measured over here is also being seized, and the main the main materials or the ingredients or explosives were seized by the cops from Mysuru, and also they had gone on to conduct raids across several parts of Karnataka now. So it is quite clear that explosives had been seized, phosphorus, sulfur, as well as pressure cooker, gas cylinder, and several other electronic gadgets too has been seized over here. So it's a huge recovery that's also been made by the Mysuru police in connection with the Mangaluru bomb blast case. With video journalist Bhagat Prajwal Prasad reporting for Republic, Mangaluru.
We are cutting across to this breaking development. In fact, these are very, very dramatic images of how the BJP has taken to streets quite literally. And this is the protest right now by the BJP against the very abusive Mantri of Mamata Banerjee, Akhil Giri. If you would recall, just a few days ago, you had seen him speaking in a derogatory language, using words against the president of the country. And what did Mamata Banerjee do? She spoke, she broke her silence some days later only to tell us that she does not approve of the comment, but absolutely no action against him. Kishla is also joining us right now live from our sister network, Republic Bangla. You know, Kishla, we are looking at these images. I do see Blockage Chatterjee there, and the BJP Mahila Morcha, I think, is out there in full swing right now because they say you need to sack him. Now, Mamata Banerjee might just think, Kishle, because I've put out a statement, it's good to go. We don't need to add. What is the sentiment that you've sensed so far from your sources in the TMC?
Well, exactly. What we are showing are live visuals from the roads of Kolkata, and BJP is demanding more stricter actions against Akhil Giri, this person, this MLA, who had uttered all these words against the president. And what we see on road right now, live visuals from Kolkata, is that BJP, especially its Mahila Morcha wing, we can see Locket Chatterjee, as you pointed out. Apart from that, we also see Agnimitra Paul, and also is present Shukanto Mojumdar, state BJP president. On the other hand, there are actually two rallies. Just to remind you, one rally is coming from the Assembly of West Bengal. Shubhendu Adhikari is leading that rally. Another rally from going towards Dharmatala is planned from Central Avenue BJP office. These two rallies, huge, enormous rallies with supporters, BJP supporters and Mahila Morcha workers demanding strict actions against Akhil Giri. And they are demanding not only actions but to remove Akhil Giri from his positions so that a right example is set. They are saying mere statement by Mamata Banerjee, as you have rightly pointed out, by Mamata Banerjee or by Akhil Giri is not enough, as what he has said, what he has commented about the president is extremely derogatory. We see a large number of BJP supporters are walking through the roads of Kolkata, very important area in Kolkata, Esplanade and Central Avenue and near the Assembly. These two rallies are supposed to meet at Esplanade, and they will be sitting for a dharna, for a protest against Akhil Giri. That's the latest update from Kolkata. BJP holding huge rallies against comment by Akhil Giri. Back to the studio.
Okay, Kishle, this is what we know about the story. You know that the BJP has been on the streets. Everyone has been saying, sack this minister. But what really is the compulsion? Why is Mamata Banerjee only happy with, a condemnation? Not even saying that, something like this will not be tolerated. Why is Akhil Giri still a minister? Why is he not sacked?
Exactly, a minister and also MLA and also one of the important leaders of Trinamool Congress, Akhil Giri, is still holding all his positions, as you have rightly pointed out. Today, Akhil Giri has given us a reaction, and he mentioned that he is very sorry about the comment. However, he is saying that Shubhendu Adhikari, BJP and other BJP leaders and the BJP as a whole is just trying to get political gains, just trying to gain some political gains out of this, as panchayat elections are very nearby and BJP is trying to steal some limelight, trying to get some cookie points just by using this whole incident politically against him and against the Trinamool Congress. So these two views are there within Trinamool Congress. A section of the Trinamool Congress has also said that BJP is overdoing the whole thing, as already Mamata Banerjee, the Trinamool Supremo herself, TMC Supremo herself, and Akhil Giri himself as well, who made the comment, has apologized, has said sorry, so this just ends over there. However, as you asked rightly, that whether any action is being taken or not, and what is stopping them from taking actions, that only Trinamool Congress knows. However, it is only a matter of time that BJP is just increasing their ante, increasing their protest throughout Calcutta, West Bengal and different parts of the country, especially the eastern part of the country. Even in Orissa, we saw there were protests yesterday, day before, and in the last week. So BJP is just trying to establish the point that action has to be taken, strong action has to be taken against Akhil Giri. That's what is happening here in Kolkata.
It's not even about the BJP. It's not just about a political party. No one in the country is going to even stand with the comments that have been made by Akhil Giri. You insult the president, you say sorry, and you continue to be a minister. Is that what the TMC's plan is? We'll track that story and much more. For the moment, thank you for getting us that live coverage on that story developing in Kolkata right now as we head into a quick break. But on the other side, our focus is on what is happening down south. Is there an uptick in terror-related activities from Coimbatore to Mangaluru now? There are more revelations that have begun to emerge. And Republic accesses a second CCTV of the killer Aftab from the 18th of October. This is that CCTV grab where he's seen walking with a backpack at 4 a.m. in the morning. The full story when we come back.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
30 to 40% of the people who didn't even know they had diabetes had soaring sugar levels.
To help India beat diabetes, BITO has collaborated with Lions Club International to conduct diabetes screening camps all over India to create awareness and control this silent epidemic.
आपने शुगर चेक की क्या?
Get your diabetes care program with a free BITO glucometer. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawala within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani Mahatre and Karan Beheri, former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with this case. Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect.
Will the opposition change the game?
भाजपा का जाने का टाइम आ गया है. अब गुजरात के अंदर नई राजनीति होगी. 27 साल से जो ये लोग लूट रहे थे, अब इसको बंद करने का टाइम आ गया.
Will the BJP buck the trend?
ગુજરાતને નફરત ફેલાવનારા લોકો એમને ગુજરાત ક્યારેય સ્વીકાર કરતું. જેમણે ગુજરાતને બદનામ કરવાની કોશિશ કરી છે, આ ગુજરાતની જનતા એમને વાળી ચોળીને સાફ કરી નાખ્યા છે.
December 8th with Arnab.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us here on Republic. Remember, we are building up to the big elections of Gujarat. And yes, not to forget the MCD battle in Delhi. Now, Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Chief Minister of Assam, has been in the national capital. And this is where Republic catches up with him to understand his take right from the UCC implementation to what's happening in Delhi. Also, he has a word of advice for Rahul Gandhi.
Welcome. You're watching this special edition with a very, very special guest today. He is known for his outgoing nature. A person, a politician who is always in the news. He is also known as the political strategist of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Joining me today is Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Assam Chief Minister. So we are so honored to have you here today. Thank you so much for speaking to Republic.
Thank you.
The Bharatiya Janata Party today launched a mega campaign, the Vijay Sankalp campaign, in regard with the MCD polls. Who's who of the BJP did road shows in 14 districts of the national capital. Meanwhile, we had Arvind Kejriwal, who launched a scathing attack on the party, on the centre. He sought votes for himself, but also told the people of Delhi to not vote for the party who has stopped the welfare of the people in Delhi. What would you have to say for that?
First of all, I have visited Delhi today and I have seen, I went to the northeast Delhi. I have seen Sastri-Nagar flyover. I have seen the elevated corridor which is under construction, going on in full swing. So I have asked people who did that. Prime Minister is doing this. When I go inside the colony, I have seen the pathetic condition there. And that's the responsibility of Delhi government. Right. Now, everybody will say, PM is discharging his responsibility, Union government is helping everyone, but Delhi government is not discharging their responsibility. If a Delhi CM today think that Mohalla clinic is the best example for healthcare, then you can imagine what is his mindset is actually, where he want to push Delhi.
Recently, there was a controversy brewing in the national capital where the Bharatiya Janata Party released a video of Delhi Minister Satyendra Jain, who is locked up in Tihar jail, where the CCTV had captured him using the VVIP treatments. He is accused in the case, but he's been using VVIP treatments where there are proof of him using mineral water, of him using a TV set, and not just that, he's also been seen getting massages with government documents in his hands, and this is all inside the Tihar jail. Now, when the Aam Aadmi Party countered this, they countered this with a claim that Satyendra Jain had slipped and that is why he needed physiotherapy. But again, the Bharatiya Janata Party gave out this defense, saying that the medical report and the day the video was released are two different dates. To which, again, the Aam Aadmi Party replied that because BJP is rattled, because they have a fear of losing the MCD and the Gujarat polls, that is why they're doing this dirty politics, is what the Aam Aadmi Party has been alleging.
First of all, BJP has not requested Satyendra Jain to take massage. It is who did that. Second, if you are ill, then there is a hospital inside the jail where your treatment would have been taken care of. Now, problem is, Aam Aadmi Party thinks that Indian people are not that intelligent enough. Indian people can distinguish what is a physiotherapy session and what is a session we call massaging for relaxation. They could have come out and they could have said that yes, he is taking massage. And anybody can take massage from any of his co-inmates. it would have been a frank admission could have ended the debate. Now on this debate also they have brought BJP, they have brought Gujarat election, they have brought MCD election. So it is a human nature. If I am somewhere, I want to take some comfort, I requested somebody, he is giving me comfort voluntarily in form of massaging. It's a simple issue. But when you involve all these things, it is a physiotherapy, he is ill, there is a prescription, there is a video has been released because of Gujarat election, because of MCD election, because BJP is rattled. That means that party is morally not strong.
Also, sir, when they made the counter claims, they said that they will approach the ED now because the ED has leaked the CCTV footage to the media and to the Bharatiya Janata Party. They said they'll seek law support, but also the law says that if you're an accused, you can't remain as a minister. That will be the contempt of court. But Manish Sisodia, Deputy Chief Minister, he addressed a press conference where he said that on no terms will this man, Satyendra Jain, be removed from his ministerial position. So they're being very adamant on keeping Satyendra Jain at his ministerial position. What do you think would be the possible reasons?
Again, my humble submission will be that Satyendra Jain has done a wrong. He could have taken the same treatment inside the medical. Now by defending him, Aam Aadmi Party has committed another wrong. And linking it with Gujarat and MCD election, they have committed blunder. Now, why you shoot somebody? Where is the rule of ED? If there is a video, why you don't want to be leaked? You are advocate of transparency. You have said that nothing should be hidden from public. You have done a complete agitation right from Lokpal to transparency. Absolutely. Today, why you are telling all these things? You should be happy somebody has done the same thing which you used to do it before you were Chief Minister. You used to leak everybody's video, you used to leak everybody's documents. That was your profession. So if somebody is following you, why you are unhappy?
Talking about the MCD polls again, before the trifurcation of the MCD happened this year, it was unified basically in the month of May this year. Now BJP in the last MCD polls won with a thumping majority of 181 seats. Do you think this time there will be a tough competition given by AAP, or BJP will overcome the anti-incumbency sentiment that's there?
I have not studied MCD election very closely because anyway, this is an election which is a localized election and our role is very limited. But when I went today to the Northeast Delhi constituency and did a roadshow, interacting with the people, I have seen huge euphoria for the party. But that's my only one engagement. So I cannot say that who will win how much, and I should not claim or overclaim. But if I take that as a test case, then I can say that yes, BJP is heading for a thumping majority again.
Another major debate has grown over the most grisly murder that we saw in the national capital. It was not just murder but also dumping of bodies. Now there was this guy Aftab who had eloped with his partner from Mumbai and they came to Delhi, and then after few months the police caught them on the case that he murdered, strangulated and chopped his partner's body into 35 pieces. The police is still tracing that. And the parent of the girl has termed this whole case as a case of love jihad. What do you have to say on that?
I think I mentioned this 3 days back in Gujarat. This is a clear case of love jihad. And there are media reports that he used to meet lot of Hindu girls. Media says that when police asked him, he answered that they are very emotional. So these are the things in media. I can't verify for that. But this is a clear case of love jihad. This is a clear attempt to exploit a woman to the fullest extent, then kill her, and then you will go to that extent, then you will saw her body into 35 pieces, and when that dead body is in your refrigerator, you will call another girl in the same building. So these are the things we have never heard. These are alien to our culture. These are alien to a common India story. I think this has come unfortunately to our country. It is being practiced by certain individuals. We must come heavily against this.
So getting my questions back to the polls, recently polling for Himachal got over. Now we have just around the corner are the Gujarat polls. You have been campaigning for Gujarat. How much do you think the BJP is confident of winning again with a thumping majority in the both states?
I think BJP is going to win in Gujarat with a record margin. We have won Gujarat almost consecutively without any break, and we would have won this election and a few more elections which will come in future. But this election, I think we are going for a record victory, somewhere near 150, maybe 150 plus, maybe -5. But this victory will be huge victory, a record victory.
What do you think Himachal will be a close competition between the Congress and the BJP?
I have not visited Himachal, but whatever feedback I have, BJP will win comfortably.
Talking about another issue that you particularly have been focusing on since the time you become a chief minister is about the UCC. Now, UCC is a very crucial subject in the state of Himachal as well as Gujarat, and both of them are now poll-bound states. If the BJP is so confident on bringing the UCC, why not table a bill this winter session?
I think the same question was asked during the Ram Mandir, that if BJP is committed to Ram Mandir, why it has not enacted a bill and complete the process. Same question was asked during the 370. BJP has accomplished all these things, and if our leader have mentioned UCC, and you have seen the UCC commitment in our election manifesto, I am sure it is going to be accomplished.
Talking about another vocal issue that you have been focusing on, you have been very vocal about it in the media, is about raising down of illegal madrasas. Basically, it's the bulldozer model that people say you have put in the state of Assam. Now, the Congress and the other opposition parties have been labeling it as a tactic to woo the Hindu voters about illegal madrasas getting bulldozed, or you know, they have been saying and alleging that you have been targeting a selected group of people.
I think about Northeast, people have a limited understanding, and Congress has, I think they have more limited understanding. In the given case, madrasa has been bulldozed by the local Muslim people, not by the government. When a community feels that this madrasa has become epic center of anti-Indian activity and this need to be bulldozed, then how can you blame us? And if somewhere we have raised anything, we have done accordance to the law, we have done it in accordance with the law. So I don't think that it is a point of criticism. Rather, people should contribute in our effort to modernize madrasa education, to transform madrasa to a general educational institute.
Now, the opposition has also been alleging that it is because Himanta Biswa Sarma is anti-Muslim, and that is why the madrasas are getting bowed down, they are getting bulldozed. What is your reply to them questioning your intention?
It's a very simple thing. If I say that a kid should not go to madrasa, he or she should study general education, at the age of 16, he or she should decide whether she wants to be doctor, engineer, or wants to be imam or jonab. I think I am doing the best possible service to the Muslim community. Today, who are advocating madrasa education for Muslim, they are not sending their kids to madrasa. They are not sending their relatives to madrasa. If it is a so pious institution, if that is the tickets for a good life, then why not you send your children there? You always want poor to be exploited. You always want that poor students should be dumped in a madrasa. And they should be deprived from the choice of getting into a legal education, medical education, engineering education. I think if somebody wants to follow madrasa education, it should be done on a voluntary basis, not because my parents has pushed me into the madrasa education. That decision should be taken by me, and when I can take that call, when I am at 16.
Himanta, this is my last question that I'm going to ask you, and this has been very talked about topic. Now, you are media's favorite child. You have been in the news for reasons, be it about your vocal nature, be it about your outgoing attitude, or also there are so many times when the Congress has always been targeting you. So you're always in the news. You're always a person who we look forward to. You're outgoing. You do not care about who the person is in the front. You just speak your heart out, and you're always in the news. What do you think makes you that way? I mean,
I don't know. Whenever I come to Delhi, people come and ask me that, can you give an interview? Right. I give that interview, but I don't think that I do regularly, because I come rarely to Delhi. And when somebody asks you a question, my philosophy is don't try to avoid that. Right. If you have a views on that, speak loudly on that, and nothing to apologize. And in the process, you also get to learn many things. Completely. So that's my view.
That was unfiltered Himanta Biswa Sarma for us, Assam Chief Minister. Thank you so much, Himanta ji, for talking to us. It was an honor.
Thank you.
Viewers, there has been an earthquake in the central Indonesian island of Java. This is near the capital, Jakarta. And from the reports that we are getting, it is a 5.6 magnitude earthquake on the Richter scale. Now, while this earthquake is one that has taken place in an area that is frequent and known for earthquakes and other geological phenomena, why this one is more destructive is because it appears to have occurred at a place that is densely populated. We have reports coming in of the high rises in Jakarta also swaying. There are reports of casualties. The latest we are picking up is that there are at least 44 people who have died in this, and there are supposed to be hundreds who are injured. We have Suesha joining us right now from Noida to tell us more. Suesha, what more can you tell us? What is the state of the disaster relief right now that you're picking up from Indonesia, Suesha?
Absolutely, Ankit. We are trying to get more details of the disaster relief management and what exactly is being done on the ground. Remember, there are a lot of eyewitness accounts that are coming in on social media of how they felt the quake very, very strongly in the greater Jakarta area. A lot of high rises that were swaying, and some had to be evacuated later. But this particular quake that happened in the main island of Java, and dozens of buildings that are damaged, residents ran into the capital streets to stay safe. However, we are still confirming on the death toll, because as of now we understand that at least 44 people have lost their lives and many who stand injured. Also, like I said, that this includes the Islamic boarding school, a hospital, public facilities. So a lot of these buildings that have also completely crumbled in this earthquake, and information still being collected on the extent of casualties and the damage that it has really caused, because like you said, the disaster management that is underway. Even in Jakarta, like I said, that the quake was very strongly felt. A lot of high rises that were swaying, some had to be evacuated, and like you said, that it is at a Richter, it was at a magnitude of 5.6 on the Richter scale. This is according to the US Geological Survey, and this was centered in the Suanjar region in West Java province at a depth of 10 kilometers, that is literally 6.2 miles. Again, trying to gather more details, but it was in February, you would remember, Ankit, when a magnitude of 6.2 earthquake was felt that had killed at least 25 people, and more than 460 were injured in the West Sumatra province. Even in 21, a magnitude of 6.2 on the Richter scale that had killed more than 100 people and injured nearly 6,500 in the West Sulawesi province. So this is yet again an earthquake, 5.6 on the Richter scale, that has been felt in the main island of Java, and still trying to get details of how many casualties are being reported. Like we understand that the death toll is going up, Ankit. So now it has reached 44 at least. You can see the extent of damage through the pictures and the videos that are being posted by many of these eyewitnesses. Completely crumbled structures that include several public facilities and residential buildings. Not just that, the tremors that were also felt in Jakarta, and buildings that were literally swaying from left to right. Many who are injured and are still undergoing treatment in the hospital. And Indonesia, like we see, has been reporting such quakes, Ankit, of the few that I just listed for you, which had also happened. But in the social media accounts that are coming in, people are writing of how they had felt the quake, they had to rush to the streets, they tried to save themselves and save some other people. So we are still getting details of how most of them may have evacuated, and this has also happened in Jakarta. But as of now, this is the quake that has shaken Indonesia once again, the main island of Java to be precise, where the extent of damage is the maximum, and still getting details on the death toll, but it has certainly risen above 44.
Right. Suesha there bringing us details of this earthquake in a very geologically active region in Indonesia, its capital Jakarta having fallen victim this time. We are tracking this very closely. I thank her for those updates. We hope everything is okay in Jakarta. Viewers, we have more breaking news coming in. Sources have now informed Republic that the Congress party is set to file a fresh review petition in the Supreme Court challenging the premature release of the convicts in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. And this comes just shortly after we also found out that the centre was going to file a review petition as well. Now the Congress party is taking action in the matter. The Congress party, you'll remember when the 6 remaining convicts in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case were given relief in that manner, when it was announced that they would be getting remission in the case, when they would be getting the release. The Congress party had issued multiple statements of how it opposed this action. However, when the centre announced that it would be filing a review petition, we had Jairam Ramesh come out and say it was too little too late. Now we have the Congress party itself moving. We have Shivangi now joining us. Shivangi, what is the latest that we're picking up with regards to the Congress party's review petition in this case?
Right. Well, Ankit, this is, of course, was a huge row which had taken place. Now, 10 days after the release, the Congress has said it will file a fresh petition, a review application challenging the freeing of convicts of the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. A grand old party has termed the release of the killers as unfortunate and unacceptable. So when that had happened, the Congress was not happy with that, with the release of the convicts. They said it is unfortunate, they said it's unacceptable. And in fact, the centre had also filed a petition in the Supreme Court asking it to review the order after 6 people, including a woman, were released from the prison in Tamil Nadu. So right now we're seeing that an update coming in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, where the Congress will be filing a review petition. That's what our sources are telling us right now. And these are top updates coming in at this point of time. Now, this, remember, is a Rajiv Gandhi assassination case we're talking about. Rajiv Gandhi was killed by a suicide bomber while campaigning for an election on behalf of the Congress party in Tamil Nadu. That had happened in May 1991, and 7 people back then were sentenced to life in that case. But right now we are seeing more updates coming in right now that 10 days, just 10 days after the release, Ankit, the Congress going ahead. They want to challenge what happened. They want to file a review petition in the top court. And like I just told you, the Congress had termed the release and what the Supreme Court said, the release of the killers, as unfortunate and unacceptable. And let's see, in fact, how that will move forward right now, Ankit. This is a developing story which is happening right now.
Absolutely. If I can read for you, when the centre had announced, Shivangi, that it would also file a review petition, the Congress party via KC Venugopal had said the government of India's decision to file a review petition is a case of belated wisdom dawning. Now the Congress has decided to also take matters into its own hands. I thank you for bringing us those updates. Viewers, we are tracking this very closely, like you've seen. We'll be back with more on this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to dive right into the top stories this hour on Superfast 50. The Mangaluru police has brought to light that a major tragedy has been averted in the city in connection with the mystery blast that took place in an auto rickshaw. The accused, Sharik, who has been injured in the blast, is reported to have only managed to assemble one pressure cooker bomb and was planning something big before his bomb exploded in his face. Former National Conference Chief Farooq Abdullah spoke on the Mangaluru blast, and while admitting he didn't have the full details, he held the centre responsible, with the former NC chief questioning who was responsible for the radicalization and division among religions.
No idea about the blast. This is a problem. Only the security and the intelligence people can now find out what is the reason for the blast.
Sir, radicalization बढ़ रहा है सर आपको लगता है?
Radicalization किसने बढ़ाया? बताइए मुझे. कौन हिंदू और मुसलमान और सिखों में अलग बात कर रहा है? कौन ये कह रहा है कि हम लोग अलग अलग हैं? कौन? वही तो radicalization कर रहे हैं.
A second CCTV visual of Shraddha murder accused Aftab has been accessed, dated October the 18th at around 4 a.m. in the morning, wherein Aftab is spotted with a backpack. The police suspects that Aftab was on his way to dispose the body parts of Shraddha. Social activist Poonam Bidlani, reported to have helped Shraddha on at least 3 occasions, narrated the conversation she had with Shraddha in connection with Aftab. The social activist spoke about the manner in which she was told about Aftab's physical abuse towards Shraddha.
उस दिन तो नॉनवेज खिलाने के लिए उसका झगड़ा हुआ था. जब उसने मुझे बोला कि मैंने पूछा क्यों मारा है आपको, ऐसे बताया कि मैं लिविंग में रहती हूँ एक लड़के के साथ में, उसने मुझे बहुत मारा है.
और इस बताया कि इसके पहले भी मारपीट करता था, कोई वजह?
हाँ, ऐसे बोल रही थी कि कभी भी उसको गुस्सा आता है मुझे बहुत मारता है, नेक्स्ट डे फिर अपने घर चला जाता है, फिर अगले दिन आता है.
The Delhi police are reported to have recorded statements of at least 11 people so far in Maharashtra in connection with the Shraddha murder case. The list of people interrogated includes friends of Shraddha, her landlord, Shraddha's former manager, flat owners and other persons in Aftab and Shraddha's family's places of living, and the packers and movers that helped the two move to Delhi. The Delhi police further interrogated the staff of a 5-star hotel in Mumbai where Aftab is reported to have interned. The Delhi police are reported to have recovered portions of Shraddha's skull amid ongoing search operations in connection with her murder case. The discovery is the 7th instance, we are told, of bones being recovered by the police so far. The Delhi police have moved an application for carrying out a polygraph test of Aftab Poonawalla, following which a narco test is also to be conducted. A Delhi court had ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test on Aftab Poonawalla within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani Matre and Karan Behri, the former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with the case. A plea has been filed in the Delhi High Court seeking the transfer of the probe of the Shraddha murder case from the Delhi police to the CBI, with the allegation against the Delhi police being that they have shared details of the investigation, which is not permissible. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot commented on the Shraddha murder case, calling the incident unfortunate and further claiming that politics as well as targeting of a particular community was being done following the Gauri incident. Amid the probe into Shraddha's horrific murder, another incident of a woman being killed and being hacked to pieces has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot for the recovery of the woman's body, which he allegedly chopped into at least 6 pieces, which he disposed of in plastic bags across Azamgarh. The suspect's whole family is believed to be involved in the murder, we are told.
तारीख को थाना क्षेत्र अजौला में एक अज्ञात युवती की डेड बॉडी कुएं में मिली थी, जिसकी सिर नहीं था, बाकी बॉडी पार्ट्स काटे गए थे। पुलिस के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज था, महिला संबंधी अपराध था और एक जघन्य अपराध था। हम लोगों के लिए बहुत बड़ी चुनौती थी घटना को वर्कआउट करना, शिनाख्त करना, वर्कआउट करना और अपराधी को पकड़ना। हमारी 5 पुलिस टीम इसमें लगी हुई थी और बहुत मेहनत करते हुए आज अपराधी को गिरफ्तार कर लिया गया है। पूरी घटना का अनावरण किया गया है। इस घटना में प्रमुख अभियुक्त प्रिंस यादव, इसको आज पुलिस मुठभेड़ के दौरान गिरफ्तार किया गया है। दाहिने पैर में इसके गोली लगी है, इसके पास से एक अवैध असला बरामद हुआ है। इससे पूछताछ में ये क्लियर हुआ कि इसका मृतका के साथ 2 साल से संबंध था। मृतका की फरवरी में इसी साल शादी हुई थी।
A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept the body in a car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began emanating from the car in which the body was kept. The police has arrested the suspects and a probe has been initiated. The BJP in a press conference revealed a sting operation wherein a potential candidate for the AAP for the Rohini MCD poll in New Delhi was asked to pay at least 80 lakh rupees to secure a ticket for the party.
रहकर आम आदमी पार्टी के दफ्तर के अंदर से आम आदमी पार्टी के नेताओं के बीच में से जिस प्रकार के स्टिंग उभर कर आ रहे हैं, ये अपने आप में दिखाता है कि भ्रष्टाचार के दलदल में अरविंद केजरीवाल जी और उनकी आम आदमी पार्टी आज डूबी हुई है, पूरी तरह से सनी हुई है।
Commenting on the matter of Delhi Minister Satyendra Jain allegedly getting a massage while in prison, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said that the AAP had done a crime by backing Satyendra Jain and committed a blunder by linking the incident to elections.
His Delhi constituency and did a roadshow interacting with the people. I have seen huge euphoria for the party.
The Rouse Avenue Court in Delhi adjourned the hearing in connection with the leaked CCTV footage of jailed Delhi Minister Satyendra Jain after an advocate representing the Delhi Minister issued a notice to the Enforcement Directorate over allegedly leaking the tape from Tihar jail to the media. Speaking on the issue of demolition of madrasas in Assam, the state's Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said that the Congress had limited understanding of the Northeast and that the madrasas had been bulldozed by the locals in the state and not by the government.
And did a roadshow interacting with the people. I have seen huge euphoria for the party.
An FIR has been registered against Congress MLA Umang Singhur in Dhar for allegedly raping and mentally harassing a woman. The leader is a Congress National Secretary and co-in-charge of the Gujarat elections and a former minister in the Madhya Pradesh government. A BJP MLA was attacked by people in a village after a woman was killed by an elephant which is believed to have belonged to him. The MLA claimed that he was misled by the police and was pushed towards the crowd as well. The skeleton of a man who was missing for almost 2 years and allegedly killed for molesting a woman was found in Rewa in Madhya Pradesh after a case was filed in the matter 4 months ago. The police eventually nabbed the accused, who has been arrested after being presented in court. The CBI has registered a preliminary inquiry in an alleged football fixing case. According to sources, the CBI visited the Delhi-based All India Football Federation headquarters and sought more information about the clubs and their investments in connection with the alleged match fixing in football in India. In a horrific accident, a speeding truck ran over 15 people, including several children in Vaishali in Bihar. The Prime Minister condoled the deaths and announced an ex gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has announced an ex gratia compensation for the victims of the accident in Vaishali after at least 7 children were killed and several others injured in a tragic road accident after a truck rammed into a roadside settlement at the site of the incident. 2 casualties were reported after a goods train derailed near the Korai railway station in Odisha. Rescue operations are underway at the site of the incident. At least 24 vehicles were involved in a pile-up after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway, in which several persons suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred on the Navale bridge due to suspected brake failure of the truck when it was moving towards Pune. Emergency operations by the fire department were carried out successfully after a fire broke out at the temple tower of the Rajagopupuram of the Bhadrakali Amman temple in Sivakasi in Tamil Nadu. Kishore K. Swamy, reported to be a political critic and quote-unquote BJP sympathizer, has been arrested for posting on social media criticizing Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. Kishore Swamy has moved a pre-bail petition in a sessions court in Tamil Nadu. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will kickstart pre-budget meetings with a special focus on climate change and infrastructure, we are told. The Finance Minister is expected to meet officials of the agriculture and agro-processing industries, representatives from the financial sector and capital markets as well. The Karbi Anglong police in Assam along with the CRPF intercepted a truck and seized at least 4 quintals of cannabis hidden in a modified secret chamber of the truck. 2 accused have been arrested in connection with the incident, as was reported by the office of Assam's Chief Minister. Former IAS officer of the Punjab cadre, Arun Goyal, has been posted as the new Election Commissioner of India. The retired IAS officer will be joining Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar and fellow Election Commissioner Anup Chandra Pandey in the Election Commission. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi is scheduled to hold his maiden rally in Gujarat ahead of the upcoming polls in the state. Rallies of the Congress leader are scheduled to be held in Rajkot and Surat amid the Bharat Jodo Yatra. In international news, several hundred people took to the streets of Hamburg in Germany to protest against Turkish airstrikes over northern regions of Syria and Iraq. Turkey had earlier launched deadly strikes over northern regions of Iraq and Syria, targeting the Kurdish groups that Ankara's administration holds responsible for last week's bomb blast in Istanbul. US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said on Monday that the US and Indonesia will expand defense cooperation after meeting with his Indonesian counterpart in Jakarta. Austin said that the Biden administration wants to help Indonesia play a central role to keep a free and open Indo-Pacific.
Indonesia stretches back more than 70 years, and the scope and scale of our defense cooperation only continues to grow, spurred by both our converging security interests and by our commitment to shared principles.
US Vice President Kamala Harris was greeted by Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Monday in Manila. After attending the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Thailand, Kamala flew to a red carpet welcome in the Philippine capital. The UN Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights in Myanmar, Thomas Andrews, urged the South Korean government to impose sanctions on the Myanmar junta. Andrews, who arrived in Seoul last week, has met with South Korean government officials and CEOs of Korean businesses with operations in Myanmar to discuss the role that South Korea can play to resolve the human rights crisis there. Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida on Monday chose Takeaki Matsumoto as the next Internal Affairs Minister of the country. The previous incumbent, Minoru Tareda, was forced to resign over funding irregularities. Hundreds of people took to the streets of Peru's capital Lima to protest against the government of President Pedro Castillo. The demonstration was taking place a day ahead of the Organization of American States beginning meetings with Congress and other bodies at the request of President Castillo. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Sunday that the Donetsk region remains the most tightly contested in eastern Ukraine, adding that the toughest fighting was still taking place in that region. A funeral was held in eastern Poland on Sunday for the second of the two men killed in a missile incident. Officials of the global west have said that the deaths appeared to have been caused by a Ukrainian air defense missile that went astray as the country was defending itself against a barrage of Russian missiles directed at Ukraine's power infrastructure. China reported its first death due to the coronavirus in at least 6 months as a strict no-tolerance policy for COVID is being observed across many parts of the country. Hong Kong's government said on Monday that the city's leader John Lee tested positive for COVID after returning from the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation meetings in Thailand. Lee began his visit to Bangkok with the aim to promote Hong Kong's image in the region as the city was slowly reopening after tough COVID restrictions throughout much of the pandemic for the last 2 years. Tens of thousands of football fans gathered at the FIFA Fan Festival to celebrate the start of the World Cup in Doha. Remember, just 2 days before the World Cup opener, host nation Qatar banned the sale of beer at stadiums in a sudden U-turn that was criticized by some and welcomed by others. There were chaotic scenes in the fan zone set up in central Doha on the opening day of the World Cup. Tens of thousands of fans pushed and shoved against police lines to enter the venue. Ecuadorians cheered and celebrated in Quito as they watched on a large screen as their national team won their first match of the FIFA World Cup. The tournament opened Sunday evening with Qatar being outplayed in a 2-0 loss to Ecuador in front of 67,000+ fans at the Al Bayt Stadium. Yesterday's loss for Qatar was the first time a host nation lost its opening match in 92 years of football's biggest event. Ecuador's captain Enner Valencia scored both of his team's goals in the first half. President of the United States Joe Biden called up the US men's national team to wish head coach Greg Berhalter's squad good luck ahead of the World Cup. The USA are to begin their World Cup Group B campaign against Wales in Al Rayyan, with the matches against England and Iran to follow. The American team trained ahead of the World Cup opener against Wales after having missed out on the 2018 World Cup. The US is to be one of the host nations of the tournament in 2026. France were in a spot of last-minute training as they prepared to start their World Cup defense in their opening match against Australia. The French are joined in Group D by Denmark and Tunisia as they gear up to become the first team since Brazil in 1962 to successfully defend the World Cup. Canada trained in Doha, continuing preparations for their first match of the World Cup in Qatar against Belgium. Canada's second match in Group F is against Croatia before they round off their group stage fixtures by facing Morocco 4 days later. Iran put final touches on their preparations for a tough opening match against England at the Khalifa International Stadium in Qatar in the FIFA World Cup, with the month-long tournament in neighboring Qatar coming amid a political turmoil in the streets of Tehran. Senegal head coach Aliou Cissé said that Sadio Mane's absence from the World Cup will be felt by fans across the world as the team prepared for their opening match against the Netherlands without their star player. The African champions will also face Ecuador and host Qatar in Group A.
Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed by and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot. A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept her body in the car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began emanating from the car in which the body was kept. The police have arrested the suspect and a probe has been initiated. The Karbi Anglon police... A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex-gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway, in which several people suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred at the Navale bridge after a suspected brake failure. Emergency operations by the fire department were carried out successfully after a fire broke out at the temple of Raja Gopuru in Bhadrakali Amman temple in Sivakasi in Virudhunagar in Tamil.
Viewers, we're live and breaking this Monday afternoon. I'm Shivangi Shukla. We're keeping you ahead on the biggest news break. Republic has accessed the graffiti put out by Sharik in the year 2020. Now, this is in Shivamogga. He was arrested. In fact, some of the visuals, the graffiti will be on your screen very, very, very soon right now, viewers, where graffiti was put out by Sharik in 2020. He had tried pulling off a cooker blast. Remember, on Saturday, while being on bail, he was arrested and granted bail after a few months after he put that graffiti out. Let's go to Prajwal. Prajwal, our viewers can see that very well. A pro-Lashkar graffiti by Sharik is out, is on the screens. Take us through those details, Prajwal.
Shivangi, now we get to understand that this particular graffiti case came to light in 2020.
Graffiti case came to light in 2020 on the 12th anniversary of the Mumbai terror attack which had happened, and it was initially learnt later by the cops that it was Maz Munir Ahmed and also the accused number 1 in the Mangaluru auto rickshaw case, Sharik, who had gone on and written that the Lashkar-e-Taiba and the Taliban will be called in to eliminate the Sanghis and Manuvadis, and they had also gone on to state Lashkar Zindabad. And in this particular case, the cops had gone to file a complaint in Mangaluru North police station limits, and they were taken into custody. And both Maz Munir as well as Sharik were behind bars for a period of 8 months, and Sharik as well as Maz was released in Feb 2021, after which the accused had gone on to skip his bail as well, and he was absconding since then, but his role was clearly established on 15th of August in 2022 in the Prem Singh murder case, where Zabi, one of the main accused in Prem Singh's stabbing incident from Shivamogga, revealed the names of Sharik, Maz Munir as well as Mohammad Yasin, stating that they were planning blasts across the entire state of Karnataka. And then the Shivamogga cops had gone on to arrest accused number 1 Maz Munir and accused number 2 Mohammad Yasin in relation to the trial blasts which were conducted in Shivamogga on the banks of Tungabhadra river, after which Sharik on 19th of November has caused this auto rickshaw blast here in Mangaluru, and this pressure cooker bomb went off by accident. So these are some of the antecedents of Sharik, the primary accused in this particular case, and he has many cases registered against him in Mangaluru and mainly in the Mangaluru North police station over here. So this is the information that we are getting in regards to the graffiti case. Shivangi, over to you.
Right. All right. So, the entire graffiti is for our viewers to watch. Do not force us to invite any tea. and Lashkar Zindabad. That's what it says. Hashtag Lashkar Zindabad. And you know, there's a Shivamoga connection you spoke about, Prajwal, as well. In fact, let's go to Deepthi as well. Deepthi is joining us from our Delhi newsroom. Deepthi, now this graffiti for our viewers, you know, is one more angle which is emerging from the case, the Mangaluru blast case, Deepthi.
And you know, it's not the first time. I do remember Prajwal putting out this information for us just about yesterday. This is exactly what the state DGP was asked about earlier in the press conference, Shivangi, that, you know, there were serious charges against this man. And the very fact that he's a repeat offender. Now, he was also booked under the very stringent UAPA, but he walked out on bail. How and why did that happen is something, again, the police said is going to be a matter of investigation. But let's again briefly look at this image that's out on our screens. It says, do not force us to invite the Lashkar-e-Taiba, to deal with the Sangis and the Maulvis. It goes on, in fact, to use the hashtag Lashkar Zindabad. So you do understand the ideology, what kind of a person he was, what was his bent of mind, what really were his motivations. A lot is clear in just this one image that's playing out on our screens. There has to be, you know, someone responsible for the fact that, was he not under surveillance? Were his antecedents not checked properly? As we've reported here on Republic, and Prajwal will second that, multiple identities is what he was using. And there are people who've come forward to say that I had given him my Aadhaar card because he wanted to buy a SIM card. So you will have to figure out what is happening, because you know how he was traced. We must tell our viewers this. He was traced to the location of his SIM card. Now, if he was using multiple SIM cards, where all was he traveling? Did he travel also to Kerala? We do know that he was in Coimbatore. The reason why agencies today are looking at the fact whether there was a link between what happened in Coimbatore about 28 days ago to also what happened in Mangaluru. So I think the story is yet to unravel. But what is clearly established is who this man is. What really were his antecedents? What were his motivations? What is the kind of thought, you know, the graffiti that is out on our screens again and again, a grim reminder of this radicalized youth, you know, if I may actually use that word. Were there people shielding him? Were there accomplices? Were there people propping him? We do not know, but I am sure that this is just going to be a domain of investigation as far as the entire, you know, case goes. The case that has links to not just what happened in Mangaluru, also to Coimbatore, because there are reports that he actually traveled there. He also visited Kerala, is what a lot of our sources are telling us. And then there were international handlers. There are people in Dubai. There are people outside the country, Shivangi. So the story is just getting more sensational by the moment. There are new revelations that Republic is putting out.
Right, getting more sensational, Deepthi, because right now we're getting more details coming in. Karnataka police have intensified the Mangaluru blast probe. One person has been picked up for questioning from Bengaluru. The person is suspected to have been in touch with Sharik. He has been handed over to the Mysuru police. New details emerging right now, new details emerging as the probe widens, as we get multiple angles on the Mangaluru blast case. One person picked up for questioning from Bengaluru. The person is suspected to have been in touch with Sharik. And what we can tell you, viewers, as well, he has been handed over to Mysuru police. So back-to-back updates coming in at this point of time. On one hand, the latest update is that there's a graffiti on your screens. The Republic has accessed the graffiti put out by Sharik in the year 2020. This is from Shivamoga, where he wrote, "Do not force us to invite LET," and also writing hashtag Lashkar Zindabad. And the new development coming in right now, where a detained suspect has been handed over to the Mysuru police. And I would like to go to Prajwal, who has more details on this fresh development. Prajwal.
Shivangi, now the person in question who has been picked by the police has been detained and he goes by the name of Mohammad Ruhullah, and it is being understood that this was the same person who was in constant touch with Sharik, and therefore when it comes to the connection between Sharik and Mohammad Ruhullah, it is also being stated that he was also seen in Mysuru for several times, but we are yet to know and yet to get official confirmation whether Mohammad Ruhullah was a resident of Mysuru or was he a resident of Bengaluru, because he was picked up from KG Halli in Bengaluru, and finally he was handed over to the Mysuru cops, is what we understand now. And he had been spotted several times along with Sharik, and there was a constant phone communication between Sharik as well as Mohammad Ruhullah too. And it is being understood that once the cops went through the CDR records of Sharik, they finally learnt that he was in contact with this particular person. Therefore, he was picked up from the KG Halli. He was picked up from KG Halli in Bengaluru, and a special team of cops from Mysuru had gone to Bengaluru, and he has now finally been taken in by the cops. We are also learning that Mohammad Ruhullah has also been taken to the spot where Sharik was residing in Mysuru, in a house which in a room which he had rented, and therefore now they have gone ahead to conduct a spot inquest there, whether he had been here, whether he had gone on to provide any sort of materials. And as the finance angle for this funding of terror is being interrogated by the cops, it is now being stated that the bank accounts of all those people who have been detained are also being monitored quite closely over here, whether there has been any sort of unusual transaction in terms of the money, in terms of huge sums of money being deposited very occasionally as well. And the cops are mainly looking for red flags over here in terms of the funding as well. So more and more details are coming in now, but we will have to wait for the official confirmation as to who Mohammad Ruhullah was, and is there any sort of is his role is also being determined in the Mangaluru auto rickshaw blast case as of now. Over to you, Shivangi.
Right, Prajwal. So right now, as our viewers can see, the latest information coming in with the pro-Lashkar graffiti by Sharik in the year 2020. Now, this is what had happened. And in fact, he was arrested and granted bail after a few months. And while being on bail, this is very crucial. Prajwal, if you can also talk a little bit about this. While being on bail, he tried to pull off the blast in Mangaluru. Now, apart from this, multiple angles also coming out. We're talking about the Coimbatore link. We're talking about the international angle coming out as well. And a possible link to ISIS, Prajwal.
Absolutely, Shivangi. Now, why this particular thing is coming out as to why they were inspired by global terror organizations is what the ADGP of Law and Order in Karnataka, Mr. Alok Kumar, had gone on to state, because their handlers, there are basically two handlers of Sharik, which was revealed in the investigation, and it is mainly learnt that both these handlers are now absconding, and the NIA had in fact gone on to announce a cash reward. But they are still, absconding. It is being learnt that one person by the name of Arafat, as well as another person by the name of Mr. Taha Mateen, were his primary handlers here in Karnataka. But as they have been absconding, the cops are still trying to find out more details into this particular angle.
Joined by S. Prakash of the BJP joining us on the phone line right now. Thank you for joining us. Now, multiple updates coming in right now, and very, very, clear link to global terrorist organization, which Republic has spoke about. In fact, the police also saying that. What is your first reaction, Mr. Prakash?
A major tragedy was averted day before yesterday with the blast of those cooker bomb in the auto rickshaw by accidentally. And police seizing the matter are doing a wonderful job in going route of the car. Several people have been arrested, and the investigation has been now went up to Mysore, Ooty and Shumaga and other places. The handlers and those who are behind the brain behind all this blast are now being investigated. I am sure the Karnataka police will ensure all those who are behind this will be apprehended at the earliest. They should get maximum punishment for their misadventure.
Right. And Mr. Prakash, the investigation is continuing, and we are seeing multiple links also emerge at this point of time. Explosive material being found as well. How do you think the investigation should take place right now? Because there is a terror angle coming out, and that is very, very concerning, Mr. Prakash.
The top cop of our state, DGP, Mr. Praveen Sood, has already confirmed it is a terror act. NIA is also seized of the matter. And only those who are involved and those who were injured in the blast are not only involved. There must be a bigger conspiracy behind this act. South Kannada coastal district being very sensitive sensitive area, there have been several attempts made to disturb the peace and harmony here, and also to try to kill people by engineering terror activities. When such is the case, police has to go deep into it and find out the larger conspiracy behind it, and they should find out the external link for all these terror suspects and ensure the Karnataka remains peaceful.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. S. Prakash, BJP spokesperson, for joining us here at Republic TV as we keep getting our viewers' top updates coming in. In fact, the fastest updates on the Mangaluru blast here at Republic TV, where number one, we can tell you is that one person has been picked up for questioning from Bengaluru. And number two, we can also tell you that, in fact, Republic has accessed that graffiti put out by Sharik in the year 2020. And while the visuals of the pressure cooker, which had, in fact, that's a pressure cooker which had blew up, it blasted in that auto. And those visuals are also on your screen, viewers, at this point of time. I'm also being joined right now by Dr. Sankara Guha from the Congress. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Guha. Now, we are getting multiple updates coming here on Republic TV, and like I was also speaking to Mr. S. Prakash of the BJP, a big terror angle coming out at this point of time. Big terror angle, multiple links coming out at this point of time. What is your first reaction?
Mr. Aragya Gyanendra has taken over as the Home Minister, and in fact the CM himself was a former Home Minister. The law and order of the state is gone to talks. It has come down so heavily. You know, this particular incident, God was with us. Let me complete. God was with us. You know, if not for this accidental explosion of the bomb, it would have reached the target. And this man who has been arrested, Mohammed Sharik or whoever, he has had a record of, he's got a history, he's got a past, he's got a criminal past. You know that he is living there. Your Mangalore DGP is not bothered, IT is not bothered. Your state intelligence is a failure. Your central intelligence is a failure. Couldn't you keep a watch on him? What would have happened if this particular bomb or this explosion had happened in its target area? And this is not one incident. It could be communal or it could be a terror incident or whatever. This whole thing is condemned. We want the strictest possible investigation, free and fair investigation to be conducted, and within a time bound. This should be time bound, and it has to reach its logical end. All through when the UPA and Congress was in power, you kept blaming, you did that, you did this. Now what is happening? You tell me, isn't this...
But Mr. Guha, if I may ask you a question, sir. I want to ask you a question, sir. Who's playing politics when it comes to terror? Who's playing politics, sir? When it is the DMK Congress ruled government in Tamil Nadu, there is a blast in Coimbatore, sir. We are told it is nothing, but it is just a cylinder blast. Okay? Until Stalin is literally forced to get the NI into the investigation, did you ask MK Stalin that why was he downplaying that terror angle then?
Of course. Whatever input has to be given to him was given from our party. Now, to what extent, what happened there, I am not responsible. But in Karnataka, let me tell you categorically, we are not going to play any sort of politics over this. Any act of terror, wherever it is.
This is the problem. This is the problem because the Congress party right now, and I hate to do this, but it's important, I think, to expose political parties. What political parties do is that they react and respond to such stories of grave national importance and security, sir, through the prism of whether they are ruling the state or they are in the opposition.
No.
You can't have different standards at different places.
Listen to me. Allow me to complete. See, if there is insufficient action taken, if there is insufficient action taken in Tamil Nadu, it is condemned. Whoever it is, whether it is Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, wherever, no act of terrorism can be sympathized. First comes the law and order of the country. Our people need to be safe. They need to feel secure. There is no compromise on that. But here, this is not one incident. You have asked me certain questions. You need to ask the same questions to the BJP people as well. They have failed in every aspect in protecting the state. It could be communal issues. It could be communal murder.
Everyone, sir, is answerable.
They have failed. See, Mr. Aragat Gyanendra is such
One
a
second.
Home Minister.
I'm not even going down that drain because you want to make that political, Mr. Guha. I just want to pull you back to the issue at hand. And I'm not sure if you have a television set, sir, near you, but I just want to talk a little bit more about this graffiti that's on our screens right now. Let's take that full frame. This is a pro-terror graffiti of the year 2020. Have you been able to see and read what he had written in 2020?
I don't have access to TV right now, but whatever it is, see, that's what I'm telling you. I think you're talking about this person who was arrested, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so you knew that he is there. What were you doing? Your intelligence knew that he was there. You knew that, there was some sort of an activity. I remember reading in the paper 3-4 months back that, Mangalore and the coastal regions were on a high alert on as far as some terror activity was concerned. So what were you doing?
I'll tell you something, Mr. Guha. Mr. Guha, I'll tell you something, sir. I'll tell you something. We are at Republic have raised that story again and again. We've raised the fact that the entire coastal Karnataka belt has seen an uptick in terror-related activities. And when you have the state government, when you have the state police actually saying that in as many words, what has the Congress and the JDS said? You have cried agenda. You have said this is politics. You have said this is linked to the upcoming elections. So who's responsible for politicizing this?
Madam, we have not cried agenda.
Do you know what the JDS sir said about the PFI?
I am not responsible.
The police has said, the police sir, Mr. Guha, has also said that Sharik had links to a banned terror outfit also.
I condemn that statement from JDS. I am not a spokesperson of the JDS. I can talk for my party and I can talk for my president. We have condemned this incident. We will condemn every single
Are you for the
incident
ban against the PFI?
Absolutely. Please conduct a free and fair investigation. Punish every single culprit in that. No sympathy as far as the safety of our country is concerned.
So right now, are you saying the investigation is not free and fair? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that. I am asking them to conduct a free and fair investigation, a time-bound investigation, punish every single person, ban that unit. If they are found to be anti-national, ban them. Not only that, every single outfit which is anti-national, conduct an inquiry on them. Be as strict as possible. Teach them a lesson that no one ever should dare to do such an activity once again.
It's rich, Mr. Guha, and I think it's a good thing that you're saying something like this on national TV, and we welcome that stand. The last question before I let you go, Mr. Guha, is again going to be on the fact that when you go down south, just because you have a lot of opposition-ruled states, and on one of the states, like I asked you, M.K. Stalin, along with the Congress, is ruling the state of Tamil Nadu. The police believe that Sharik also had links to what happened in Coimbatore. In fact, he was in Coimbatore also, is what the police is actually confirming. So tell me something, what did your government in the state of Tamil Nadu do to ensure that this man was nabbed? Because an equal responsibility and onus will also lie on all state governments now.
I am sure the Tamil Nadu government will take complete responsibility because it is the safety of our people. They will give full cooperation to every person involved in this investigation. And I'm sure this will take its turn to a logical end. We want a time-bound investigation. I'm sure they will cooperate.
All right. You haven't answered my question, but I leave it there. You haven't answered the question. We are leaving it there. The story is not about a particular political party.
I said they will
cooperate. But it's not about cooperation also. It's also about accountability in a state that you're ruling with the DMK, sir. Only for want of time, I'm leaving the story here. But do remember, Republic has been on top of that story, unraveling layer by layer, not just what Sharik wanted, but also the entire global plot. And we'll continue to do that through this evening. For the moment, Mr. Guha, thank you.
Several people, including 8 children, were killed on Sunday after a truck rammed into a roadside settlement in Bihar's Vaishali district.
Very shocking incident coming to light from UP, where ex-lover has been arrested in killing of a woman whose body was chopped and found in a well.
BJP MLA MP Kumaraswamy was beaten up by angry villagers near the Kudur district in Mudigere. Sources said that there was a public outcry against the authorities. The Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway, in which several people suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred at the Navale bridge after a suspected brake failure. Emergency operations by the fire department were carried out successfully after a fire broke out at the temple of Rajagopuru in Bhadrakali Amman temple in Sivakasi in Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu. And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawala within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani Mahatre and Karan Beheri, former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with this case.
At least 15 people were reported injured after a multiple vehicle crash on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway near the bridge in Pune. The collision involved at least 24 vehicles that were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of the bridge. At least 8 people have been hospitalized following the incident. A brake failure in the truck is being suspected as the cause for the accident. An operation was initiated to remove the vehicles from the site of the incident. A man whose car was damaged in the accident said that the speeding truck first rammed into some of the vehicles on the road, which in turn hit some other vehicles. However, a fire department of Pune Metropolitan Region Development Authority claimed that at least 48 vehicles were damaged in the incident, including those that suffered minor damage. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
To 40% of the people who didn't even know they had diabetes had soaring sugar levels.
To help India beat diabetes, BITO has collaborated with Lions Club International to conduct diabetes screening camps all over India to create awareness and control this silent epidemic.
आपने शुगर चेक की क्या?
Get your diabetes care program with a free BITO glucometer. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawala within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani Mahatre and Karan Beheri, former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with this case. Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed by and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot. A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept her body in the car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began emanating from the car in which the body was kept. The police have arrested the suspect and a probe has been initiated.
Will the opposition change the game?
भाजपा का जाने का टाइम आ गया है। अब गुजरात के अंदर नई राजनीति होगी। 27 साल से जो ये लोग लूट रहे थे, अब इसको बंद करने का टाइम आ गया।
Will the BJP buck the trend?
गुजरात ने नफरत फैलावनारा लोको एमने गुजरात क्यारे स्वीकार करतो जेमणे जेमणे गुजरात ने बदनाम करवानी कोशिश करी छे आ गुजरातनी जनता एमने वाड़ी छोड़ीने साफ કરી નાખ્યા છે.
December 8th with Arnab.
Several people, including 8 children, were killed on Sunday after a truck rammed into a roadside settlement in Bihar's Vaishali district.
Very shocking incident coming to light from UP, where ex-lover has been arrested in killing of a woman whose body was chopped and found in a well.
BJP MLA MP Kumaraswamy was beaten up by angry villagers near the Kudhur district in Mudiger. Sources said that there was a public outcry against the authorities.
A very good evening. Thank you for staying with us here on Republic. This day, remember, has a lot of important news breaks that we are bringing to you. The first and foremost is what is happening down south, whether it was Coimbatore to Mangaluru now. Is there an uptick in terror-related activities, and who is not wanting to talk about this? And yes, there are new revelations in the Shraddha murder case. So that and much more in the next 30 minutes as we bring you exclusive updates and also live coverage. First up, the headlines. Terrorist Sharik posed with a cooker bomb right before the Saturday blast. This is the picture on your screens, now accessed by Republic. The police claim several handlers were directly in touch. The main handler, Mateen, reportedly now in Dubai. Terrorist Sharik was in Coimbatore for several days. So is there a direct common link to the blasts? Larger blast was planned in the coastal Karnataka area. This is what the police claim. Say a big attack now has been averted. Controversy over Zakir Naik's invite to the FIFA World Cup for talks. Why is a hate preacher even invited to the world's biggest football event? And Republic accesses a second CCTV of the killer Aftab. This is dated the 18th of October, where you see him walking with a backpack, and this is at 4 a.m. in the morning. And first up, this is what you hear in most such incidents. Netas will come out, politicize incidents and even try to communalize it. Now, the Shraddha murder investigation, remember, as it's unfolding, the horror is unfolding by the moment. What are Netas doing? This is a reaction that we've just gotten from the Chief Minister of Rajasthan. This is Ashok Gehlot, a seasoned Neta, a Chief Minister of a state. And watch how he is communalizing and politicizing the entire incident.
ये घटना है, घटना दुर्घटना है। ये तो नाम दे दिए गए हैं, नाम दे दिए गए हैं, जुमले कर दिए गए हैं, जुमले कर दिए गए हैं। आप इसको किसी रूप में ले लीजिए, ये तो कोई नई बात नहीं। सदियों से इंटरकास्ट, इंटर धर्म के नाम पे जो शादी होती है, कोई नई बात तो नहीं है। पर जब आपने टारगेट बना दिया एक कौम को, एक धर्म को, उसके आधार पे आपकी राजनीति चल रही है देश के अंदर, उसका फायदा आपको मिल रहा है। क्योंकि धर्म के नाम पर, जाति के नाम पर इकट्ठा करना हो, संगठित करना हो, मॉब क्रिएट करना हो तो बड़ा आसान काम है। आग लगाना बड़ा आसान है, आग को बुझाने में वक्त लगता है।
उनके परिवार के सदस्य थे, पिताजी थे, बहुत धक्का लगा है। फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट में और कड़ी से कड़ी कार्रवाई हो, ऐसे परिवार की इच्छा है। मैंने उनके परिवार के रिश्तेदारों की दिल्ली के लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर वीके सक्सेना जी से बात करवा दी। यहाँ के जो पुलिस कमिश्नर है सदानंद दाते, उनसे भी अभी बात की, करवा दी। मैं स्वयं इस विषय में ध्यान दूंगा कि ये लड़के ने ये इस प्रकार का जो बिहेवियर किया है, उसके साथ में कोई है, कौन है, पीछे कोई है, डायरेक्टली इनडायरेक्टली कौन इसमें कौन कौन रिस्पॉन्सिबल है। परिवार न्याय चाहता है। बहुत दुखद घटना हुई है, उसके लिए हमने भी संवेदना व्यक्त की है।
So you heard first the response from the Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Ashok Gehlot, followed by that reaction that has just come in from BJP's Kirit Somaya. And I quickly want to once more reiterate what you've heard from Ashok Gehlot, and I'm quoting him now in Hindi. He says, Shraddha हत्याकांड एक दुर्घटना है, इसे नाम दे दिया गया है, जुमले कस दिए गए हैं। He goes on to say, सदियों से अंतर धर्म में शादियां होती हैं, ये नई बात तो नहीं है, लेकिन आपने एक कौम को, एक धर्म को टारगेट बना दिया है और इसके आधार पर अशोक गहलोत सेज राजनीति हो रही है। So quite a disturbing statement that has come in from Ashok Gehlot on the entire issue, who remember is trying to normalize the kind of reactions that continue to come in from different political parties who are looking for an opportunity to even grab votes, to politicize, to communalize such a ghastly, such a grisly incident also. This is Ashok Gehlot who goes on to communalize the entire incident. He goes on to say, in fact, this is an accident and it's being used only and only to suit certain political parties. Let's get you this breaking update right now. There are more details of the Mangaluru terror plot that have now begun to emerge. The Karnataka police has arrested Saeed Yassin and Maz Munir Ahmed. They were part of the ISIS-inspired module, that is Al-Hayat, is what we are given to understand. And Sharik, they are saying, had escaped earlier. He had purchased certain explosive materials online and offline. There are also PDF files containing bomb making and explosives that were found from their possession. So that is what the police has recovered as far as these two people who've been arrested are concerned. Their names are Sayyid Yassin and Maz Munir Ahmed. Agencies believe that they were a part of the ISIS-inspired module of Al-Hayat, and Sharik was also a part of this entire module. The agencies now want to find out how many more people with him, what were their motives, who was the real handler, and all these, remember, are now issues that beg a stringent investigation as far as this case go. We're also learning that there were PDF files containing bomb making and explosives that were found from their possession. And also, Sharik had a lot of information about the dark web, how it operated. We are learning he had purchased explosive materials both online and offline. And our colleague Shravan is joining us live right now for more details on that story. And let's bring him up on our screens here. Shravan, what more are we learning? You know, I think this is exactly what the agencies have been trying to indicate for the last few days since the story broke, Shravan, that there is a larger module. And now you're telling us of two important arrests in the entire case.
Well, in fact, the ISIS link essentially emerges in this. Sharik, in fact, was on the NIA radar starting from 2019, especially given the fact that in the Shivamoga terror plot, remember, 2 arrests were actually made. It turns out that from the investigation that was basically carried out, the person behind funding this entire recce in Karnataka was none other than Sharik himself. In fact, there were certain documents that were also recovered by the National Investigation Agency from the possession of the 2 accused, and they were linked to an ISIS module called Al Hayat. Now, Al Hayat happens to be the very module that was activated in Karnataka and other southern states. But it emerges that it's got its tentacles across South India. Given the fact that Sharik himself was traveling across Karnataka as well as in the state of Tamil Nadu, this becomes, the investigation has only now widened. That's the reason why, as we speak right now, even Tamil Nadu Police's intelligence wing is currently camping in Karnataka, where they're essentially looking into all aspects of this entire terror plot. It turns out that Sharik had actually carried out a recce of certain locations. Now, whether that was directly linked with that pressure cooker filled with explosives, whether he was actually planning to plant this at a specific location, that's not known at this point in time, and that's the reason why the investigation is essentially underway to find out whether at all there are certain accomplices of Sharik who are still on the run.
All right, Shravan, they're getting us more details as far as this entire story goes. And do remember the story again. Like I said, the story has moved from Coimbatore to Mangaluru, but it might just go back to Coimbatore. That's exactly what the police and the agencies say. Now, we're going to be putting out this entire image that you see on your screens. Look very, very carefully to what it shows you. This is the terror bomb factory. These are the kind of recoveries that, remember, have been made from his residence. About 5 locations were raided by the cops. One of them is Sharik's home. Now you see a 9-volt battery that has also been recovered. Apart from this also, there are a lot of circuits that the agencies have got their hands on. This is a black powder that they noticed, like you can see here on your screens, in a plastic bag. Now, what was the purpose of this? Was this being used to make a bomb? In all likelihood, yes. This next image that you see is a brown substance. This is packed in a red pouch. Again, symbolic of the fact that these are hazardous chemicals. Remember, these are not chemicals that you and I can actually procure if you just walk around or, walk to a neighborhood store. So who got him all this? Then who helped him assemble this entire bomb, the pressure cooker bomb? This now that you see on your screens is a chemical labeled arakid. Now is crystal-like white substance. And just one glance, remember, at all these recoveries that we are here trying to show you indicate a larger and a sinister plot. All these images point to just one angle, that is the terror angle. Something that the agencies believe is not that Sharik was acting and dealing with alone. There were more people, there were more accomplices, perhaps in Coimbatore, in Kerala, because he did travel a lot of these southern India states. Again and again, you will see a lot of these details that our team has been able to assemble and get for you here. This is a trigger timer circuit board with display. You can see this very, very clearly. Was a part of this also used in the pressure cooker bomb? And don't forget, there is that one image of Sharik that you see holding one of these pressure cookers. And now he's been injured. The police believes that it's important that, he is interrogated as soon as possible to be able to understand this entire network. This now is a yellow liquid in a bottle. And anyone who understands science, anyone who understands bomb making will actually tell you that everything that you have seen so far, remember again, is not normal. There is a terror angle written all over it. Not very long ago, this is a warning that came up in the year 2020. Look very clearly at what this says. We've put out a translation here on the bottom of the screens. Now this is a graffiti. Graffiti is what is actually written on the walls. This is what Sharik did, and this is in the year 2020. It says, do not force us to invite Lashkar-e-Toiba and Taliban to deal with Sanghis and Manuwadis. The hashtag is Lashkar Zindabad. Now nothing much is left to imagination to actually figure out what were his motives, what were his intentions, what really was working on his mind. And he, remember, as I said, following this entire graffiti, is even arrested. He's arrested under UAPA, an extremely stringent act. But then he gets a bail. And when he's on bail, what does he do? He puts out this image that you see on your screens. And this is, remember again, you see him in a typical ISIS style with a pressure cooker. This is what the agencies believe is a matter that has to be investigated. The reason why they say that they will also now get in touch with the Coimbatore police and also police in Kerala to figure out whether this man travelled to more such places and who all was he really meeting. We also have two guests joining us on this edition of the news because the focus is on the ISIS terror plot. I want to say good afternoon to PKD Nambiar, who's a political analyst, and Sushant Sareen, senior fellow at the ORF. And gentlemen, thank you, good evening, and let's deep dive into the story. First to you, Sushant. How do you read this entire story, Sushant? Because, it's important to read every bit of information that has come out so far. Netas might play politics, some might say, listen, because it's happened in A state, B is reacting like this. But you, being an objective thinker, being someone who has opined on internal security of the country, how serious is the kind of evidence, Sushant, that is out in the public domain?
Listen, whatever has come out, I think it's extremely distressing and concerning. Partly because both in this particular case as well as in the Coimbatore case, we were plain lucky. There is nothing else to be said for it. Many of these guys, even though they were on the radar screen, they had been released. But I'm not surprised anymore that, people who have been accused of terrorism are being released. We have people being sent for house arrest in all kinds of comfort so that, they can spend their time in leisure because, that is the kind of people we have become. So, but, the fact that these guys were not really on the radar screen, nobody was keeping a watch on these fellows. Now, whether these are linked or these are two separate modules doing their own thing, the only thing which can be said for them is that, they are idiot bombers because whatever bombs they manufactured, they thankfully blew themselves up with those bombs. But can you imagine what would have happened in either of the two cases, whether in this one or in the Coimbatore one, had the sinister plans of these characters actually fructified? And in this particular case, I think it becomes even worse because what this guy is trying to do, at least in his idiotic mind, he's trying to be very smart by planting, a fake identity. And leaving that behind so that the needle of suspicion points to another community rather than to his community. So this is and then, that entire ecosystem would have taken over, Hindu terror, etc., etc. We've seen all of that in the past. So I think this is extremely serious. And this is a trend which only seems to be increasing. This is not a trend which is, coming down. This is not an isolated incident anymore, much as many people would like it, show it to be an isolated incident. I think it's very important to understand this is not an isolated incident. And finally, I think the single biggest security challenge, at least internal security challenge now, is that, and I'm not sure whether the intelligence agencies or the security agencies, whether at the state level or at the national level, are even aware of it. But what are the conversations happening in groups of, for example, young Muslim men? What are those conversations? When 7 or 8 or 10 of these guys are sitting together and discussing things, what are they discussing? And I think it is very important to get some kind of an idea of that, to know which way things are moving and start taking corrective action, apart from a range of other things that need to be done, including stopping the kind of hate speeches which are coming from people like Zakir Naik. Now, of course, Zakir Naik has become a big star. Qatar has invited him. I don't know whether there was a football tournament taking place in Qatar or a preaching session happening out there, but nevertheless, a radical preacher has been called to do tabligh out there. So I think these are very serious matters.
And Sushant,
somewhere,
Yes, apology. I'm just, cutting you because I want to get the first comments also from PKD, because there are a lot of breaking developments that continue to come in because of which, gentlemen, it took me some time to come to you. But PKD, tell me something. This man put out that warning. We'll put out that graffiti on our screens once more. That is 2020. He puts out that warning, and look at what happens now. Right from what happened in Hyderabad to Coimbatore and now Mangaluru. And as Sushant said, we were lucky. We were lucky that there was no damage, and we were lucky that this man was picked up well in time. But tell me something, PKD, that he's arrested under UAPA, he gets a bail, and he is moving around these 3 states. How is it that no agency was tracking him? There was zero surveillance?
Well, Deepthi, first and foremost, I don't understand what is this. He was under the radar. That makes more of like a mockery of our own intelligence agencies. If at all he was under radar and he was carrying, or he was at least making a bomb which is small or big or more powerful or less powerful, doesn't matter. So I don't know whether he was really under the radar. If at all he was, then that means it questions the ability of our own agencies, which I don't want to do on this show. But one thing I wanted to talk about the larger question. So if you really look at from the point of view of Coimbatore to Mangaluru, or in all these southern states, especially, I won't call it as an entire southern states, it's basically called as the Malabar coast. The Malabar coast is like, even Coimbatore is one edge of the Malabar coast, and it goes till to the Udupi to the Gokarnam. So this is the entire belt, and the Malabar state was asked by a couple of these extremist forces from over the last decade or so. This is the birthplace of Simi. This is the birthplace of all these PFI, STPI, and this is the birthplace of this hijab issue and all of these things. And you won't even believe that the kind of demographic changes which has taken place in this Malabar coast over the last 25-30 years is something like you can't even imagine. The dressing up sense of the people have changed. The number of people who have been, 99% of the people who have joined ISIS are from this part of the world, and we still feel that, oh, this is okay, it is a secular country and there is nothing is
but PKD,
a problem.
If I may, I want to ask you this. If you and I sitting here on television are discussing this, and this is a reality, Sushant, very briefly, I want your quick comment on this. Why are there people who still want India to go soft when it comes to terror? Why are there still people who continue to play politics, Sushant? And, when we as a country will say enough is enough?
Very simply, I think it's virtue signaling of the worst kind that these people do. They think that they burnish their quote-unquote liberal and secular credentials by even defending terrorists. And we see this at various levels. For example, you will see many judgments, you will see many people say that, there's freedom of speech, there's freedom of expression. So what? Somebody has just written a graffiti. How does it make a difference? It makes a difference because it shows a mental make of mind of a person. It shows what that person is capable of. It shows that he's probably right at the edge and something might just push him over. So, for us to say that, okay, fine, it's just something which somebody has said, just something which somebody has written. So what if a political leader has, given a fatwa or given a supari, like some people have done that, kill the cartoonist and I'll give you so much money. We've seen a lot of that. And where I'll slightly disagree with the PKD is, it's not just about the Malabar coast. Yes, we've seen a spate of incidents along the Malabar coast. But please tell me, is Telangana any better? Is Hyderabad any better? Are we seeing any really an effervescence of progressive values out there? Or are we seeing greater radicalism out there? What about, let's talk about places in Maharashtra. Let's talk about places in Madhya Pradesh.
Okay.
Let's talk about places in UP. So this is not something which is limited to any one belt. Yes, we've seen a spate of incidents in Malabar, but we've seen similar tendencies in other parts of India as well.
And India says enough is enough. Only for what if time, PKD and Sushant. This is a story that Republic will continue to revisit through this evening, building up also to the big debate with Arnab. As we ask, why is appeasement more important than the fight against terror? Thank you, gentlemen, for speaking to us here on Republic as we quickly head into a break right now. But on the other side, this is also a fight against people who mean no good for the country. He is a fugitive. His name is Zakir Naik. He is wanted in the country. But why is Qatar rolling out the red carpet for him? We deep dive into that when we come back.
આ ઘેર ઘેર સુવિધાઓ પહોંચેનું કારણ શું? મુસીબતોમાંથી મુક્તિ મળી એનું કારણ શું? એનું કારણ તમારા એક વોટની તાકાત.
30 to 40% of the people who didn't even know they had diabetes had soaring sugar levels.
To help India beat diabetes, Beto has collaborated with Lions Club International to conduct diabetes screening camps all over India to create awareness and control this silent epidemic.
आपने शुगर चेक की क्या?
Get your diabetes care program with a free Beto glucometer. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
The Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex-gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway, in which several people suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred at the Navale Bridge after a suspected brake failure. Emergency operations by the fire department were carried out successfully after a fire broke out at the temple of Raja Gopuru in Bhadrakali Amman Temple in Sivakasi in Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu. And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawala within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police...
Several people, including 8 children, were killed on Sunday after a truck rammed into a roadside settlement in Bihar's Vaishali district.
Very shocking incident coming to light from UP, where ex-lover has been arrested in killing of a woman whose body was chopped and found in a well.
BJP MLA MP Kumaraswamy was beaten up by angry villagers near the Kudhur district in Mudiger. Sources said that there was a public outcry against the authorities.
used with coker bomb before the Saturday blast. Picture out on Republic. Police claim several handlers were directly in touch. Main handler Mateen reportedly in Dubai. Terrorist Sharik was in Coimbatore for several days. Is there a direct common link to the blasts? Larger blast was planned in coastal Karnataka, claim police say big attack now averted. Controversy over Zakir Naik invite to FIFA World Cup for talks. Why is a hate preacher invited to the world's biggest football event? Republic accesses a second CCTV footage of killer Aftab from the 18th of October, where he was seen walking with a backpack at 4 a.m. Hi, good afternoon and thank you for staying tuned. You're watching the news at 4:30. I'm Suesha Samant. Our non-stop focus on the Mangaluru terror plot and the fresh details that are emerging as far as the extent of radicalization is being spoken about. The police has found out materials that go into making the bomb from the rented house in Mysuru of Mangaluru auto rickshaw blast accused Mohammad Sharik, who was quote-unquote influenced and inspired by a global terrorist organization. Additional Director General of the Police, Alok Kumar, has said that the police is trying to find out the 24-year-old's links with people outside Karnataka, of the amount of time he spent in Coimbatore, and what was the bigger attack he was planning. Several reactions coming in on this. Let's listen in.
Premise, they searched that house and they have found a lot of explosive materials, whether it is sulfur, whether it is phosphorus, matchboxes, then nuts and bolts, circuits. So all sort of things we have found there, and we have come to know the sources of it because some purchases have been online and some purchases offline. So we have got the evidence of it. So we are working on it. So now his immediate handler was Arafat Ali, who is accused in this Mangalore North Police Station case and Mangalore East Police Station case. And apart from that, he was in touch with one Musawwir Hussain, who also happens to be an accused person in Sudgante Palya 10/20 UAPA case, the case which was supposed to be this Al-Hind module that was called. So in that case, Abdul Mateen Taha, he is one of the accused person, and Musawwir Hussain, both resident of Tirthalli, they are accused persons but they are absconding. So Abdul Mateen Taha is also absconding, and he is the main handler as of now, as per our information, of Sharik. But Sharik is in touch with some 2-3 other persons who are yet to be identified. So we have formed different teams. There are 2 operational teams, and there is one interrogation team, there is one investigation team, one is CDR analysis team, and one is digital forensic team. So 5 teams are there, and they are working on it. Today morning, 4 places have been searched in Tirthalli town of Shimoga district and 1 place in Mangalore city. Yesterday 2 places were searched, one in T. Narsipura and Mysore city. Yesterday 2 places were searched. So in total we have searched 7 places. We have seen some electronic devices. We are looking into the content of electronic devices, and there are other links like some Surendran in whose name this SIM card was taken by him, and then one Aadhaar card by Arun Kumar Gavli, who is the resident of Sandur. There is one more SIM card which is taken by Sharik in the name of one person from Gadag district. So all these evidences, all the persons we are going to inquire, we are going to check that even remotely are these persons, they have any link with this, and we have to look into the fact that if there is someone who is financing him, if there is someone who is giving him some background support. So all these things needs to look into, but we can say that his acts has been inspired and influenced by some terrorist organization which is having global presence. So it is due to that, and he has tried to learn this manufacturing on his own, it seems. But still it is under investigation that if someone has trained him or someone has given some idea, there are so that fact is that fact we are looking into, that whether he has got any training or he is self-trained.
Shravan Sen now joining us live on the broadcast. Shravan Sen, the writing on the wall is very clear when it comes to Sharik and what he was planning. Clearly a bigger plot that has been averted. 5 teams that are working as far as the investigation that is being carried out. ISIS links that the teams are now very sure of. And most importantly, who are the other handlers? Where all were they functioning about? Which all states were they moving around in? And what were they planning is what is being looked into.
Well, in fact, Suesha, there is a dangerous imprint if you really look at the background of Sharik himself. He was at the radar of the National Investigation Agency starting from the year 2019. The reason essentially being that he was also linked to the Shivamoga terror plot. 2 accused were arrested in the Shivamoga terror plot, and it turns out that both of them were actually being financed by none other than Sharik. It is Sharik who had essentially helped them to procure the explosives and then assemble the explosives in that particular case. Thereafter, it also turns out that from the searches that were carried out by the National Investigation Agency, they recovered certain PDF documents. Those documents were once again linked to bomb making and more lessons on the nature of explosives. And that is exactly why Sharik's background becomes extremely important. Let's not forget that there are certain graffiti that has also been now exposed. The fact that he's actually has exposed his jihadi mindset, and the fact of the matter is that these explosives that were basically recovered indicates that he was actually planning to plant the bomb. What is not known at this point in time, what were the locations or where exactly was he looking at? But what is very clear is the fact that there was a proper recce that was essentially done, and they had a potential target list that was also drawn up. The question here is that, does that essentially mean that the existence of a sleeper cell? Because it turns out that they are also linked to an ISIS module which goes by the name of Al Hayat. At this point in time, none of the ISIS Telegram channels have been very active, or they have taken any sort of responsibility or indicating that they were planning to carry out large-scale attacks in coastal Karnataka. That is not very clear, at least if you simply go by these ISIS, various ISIS Telegram channels, which are also being monitored by the investigative agencies. In all likelihood, this case too, like the Coimbatore case, will be handed over to the National Investigation Agency. It's only a matter of time before that is exactly done. But on your screens right now, that warning graffiti message back in 2020 is an indication of the fact that Sharik was actually part of this sleeper cell module of the ISIS, and the fact that he was working in cahoots with a few others. Now, who are the accomplices? That's not known at this point in time.
And that is exactly what the teams are looking into. Shravan, stay on with us. Prajwal, who is also looking into other angles on the ground, sent us this report a short while ago. Let's take a look at it.
There have been several seizures which has been made by the cops in relation to the Mangaluru blast case, and these are some of the items which has been seized, and we can understand that there are electrical gadgets, apart from which there is also a pressure cooker and gas cylinders too which has been put in, and some lighters, and there were also mobile phones too which was put in. This was the gas cylinder that I'm speaking about, which was seized from the room of Sharik in Mysuru, and we also have several other artifacts too which has already been taken in by the cops as well, and we can clearly look at it. One of the key items was a triangulation point of an AK-47 vehicle. So this was something, I beg your pardon, an AK-47 gun, a weapon which was kept here, and also several other items too which has been seized and put in here, which were basically mainly chemicals like potassium nitrate, sulfur, as well as phosphorus. suffer too. So this is very important over here. Some other items which are coming in over here as well. So it is being stated that the amount of weight which is being measured over here is also being seized, and the main the main materials or the ingredients or explosives were seized by the cops from Mysuru, and also they had gone on to conduct raids across several parts of Karnataka now. So it is quite clear that explosives had been seized, phosphorus, sulfur, as well as pressure cooker, gas cylinder, and several other electronic gadgets too has been seized over here. So it's a huge recovery that's also been made by the Mysuru police in connection with the Mangaluru bomb blast case. With video journalist Bhagat Prajwal Prasad reporting for Republic, Mangaluru.
Several people, including 8 children, were killed on Sunday after a truck rammed into a roadside settlement in Bihar's Vaishali district.
Very shocking incident coming to light from UP, where ex-lover has been arrested in killing of a woman whose body was chopped and found in a well.
BJP MLA MP Kumaraswamy was beaten up by angry villagers near the Kudur district in Mudiger. Sources said that there was a public outcry against the authorities.
To 40% of the people who didn't even know they had diabetes had soaring sugar levels.
To help India beat diabetes, Beto has collaborated with Lions Club International to conduct diabetes screening camps all over India to create awareness and control this silent epidemic.
आपने शुगर चेक की क्या?
Get your diabetes care program with a free Beto glucometer. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawala within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani Mahatre and Karan Beheri, former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with this case. Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed by and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot. A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept her body in the car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur.
Thank you for staying with Republic, and you would remember how 2 days ago a red suitcase was found on the Yamuna Expressway with the dead body of a girl, and this was in Mathura. The police has now cracked the case and revealed that the 21-year-old Ayushi Yadav was killed by her family, her father to be precise, who shot her. Listen in to what the cops are saying.
बहुत बड़ी ये एक मर्डर मिस्ट्री है जिसको आपने सुलझाया, कितना वक्त लगा?
करीब हम लोगों को 72 घंटे के आसपास ये वक्त लगा मर्डर मिस्ट्री सुलझाने में, क्योंकि बच्ची का आइडेंटिफिकेशन नहीं हो पाया। आइडेंटिफिकेशन होने में समय लगा और उसके बाद हम लोगों ने इसको सुलझा लिया।
कितनी टीम लगी हुई?
14 टीमें हमारी लगी हुई थी, आइडेंटिफिकेशन से लेकर कार्यवाही तक के लिए।
कौन सी धाराओं में मुकदमा दर्ज हुआ?
मुकदमा 302 और 201 में दर्ज हुआ है।
अभी जो आरोपी हैं उनका वो आरोप कैसे सिद्ध हुआ, कहाँ से आपको लीड मिलती चलेगी?
आइडेंटिफिकेशन होने के बाद प्रथम दृष्टया वहां पर फोटो देख के इन लोगों ने पहचानने से इनकार कर रहे थे, लेकिन उसका भाई पहचाना, जो कि माइनर है, लेकिन उसने पहचाना और उसने कहा कि ये मेरी ही बहन है। फिर उसके भाई और उसकी मां को हम लोग ले आए यहाँ पर, डेड बॉडी जब उनको दिखाए तो उन लोगों ने पहचाना, दोनों लोगों ने, और फिर हम लोगों को आगे लीड मिलती गई।
आयुषी यादव को उसके माता पिता ने ही मौत के घाट उतारा, उसके पीछे वजह क्या रही?
वजह ये रही कि वो आर्य समाज मंदिर में किसी छत्रपाल नाम के लड़के से शादी कर ली थी, जो माँ बाप को मंजूर नहीं था और बिना इनकी जानकारी के की थी। इसको लेके माँ बाप और आयुषी में मतभेद रहा करता था।
लड़की को घर धोखे से बुलाया था या वो मायके में रहती थी?
नहीं, वो मायके में ही रहती थी। शादी तो इन्होंने कर ली थी, लेकिन ससुराल नहीं जाती थी। कभी कभी वो 2-4 दिन के लिए जाती थी, वो भी बिना बताए चली जाती थी।
अब आगे की प्रक्रिया क्या कुछ रहेगी आरोपियों के खिलाफ?
आरोपियों के खिलाफ हमारी फॉरेंसिक टीम यहाँ से भेजी जा रही है, दिल्ली पहुँचने जा रही है। दिल्ली पहले तो वहाँ उस घर का सर्च करेगी और फॉरेंसिक दृष्टिकोण से उसकी जो एविडेंस उठाए जा सकते हैं उसको कैप्चर करेगी। उसके बाद हम लोग इनका 164 का बयान कराएंगे कोर्ट में, और आगे फर्दर इन्वेस्टिगेशन में जो भी एविडेंस की जरूरत है, जो वेपन्स है उसको FSL भेज के उसकी जांच कराई।
क्या चीजें बरामद हुई?
इनकी एक गाड़ी कार बरामद हुई है फोर्ड की, और एक रिवॉल्वर जो इनकी लाइसेंसी खुद की है वो बरामद हुआ। 2 खोखा कारतूस मिले हैं।
हमारा आखो वलसाड દક્ષિણનો અને ગુજરાતમાં આ માછીમારોને એમના નસીબ પર ભૂતકાળમાં છોડી દેતી હતી સરકારો. અમે નક્કી કર્યું કે આ માછીમાર પણ દેશની તાકાત છે. બ્લુ ઇકોનોમીમાં આગળ વધવું હશે.
Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed by and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot. A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept her body in the car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began emanating from the car in which the body was kept. The police have arrested the suspect and a probe has been initiated. The Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex-crash compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway, in which several people suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred at the Navale Bridge after a suspected brake failure. Emergency operations by the fire department were carried out successfully after a fire broke out at the temple of Raja Gopuram in Bhadrakali Amman Temple in Sivakasi in Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu. And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawala within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani Mahatre and Karan Beheri, former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with this case. Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed by and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh.
Another evidence in the Mangaluru blast, a picture of the man accused, of the main accused, Sharik. His picture has been recovered. In the photo, Sharik is seen posing with the pressure cooker bomb. Remember, the pieces of the pressure cooker were found post the blast in Mangaluru. Former National Conference Chief Farooq Abdullah speaks on Mangaluru blast but indirectly blames the centre for it. Farooq questions who increase radicalization and division among religious communities.
No idea about the blast. This is a problem. Only the security and the intelligence people can now find out what is the reason for the blast.
सर रेडिकलाइजेशन बढ़ रहा है सर आपको लगता है?
रेडिकलाइजेशन किसने बढ़ाया बताइए मुझे. कौन हिंदू और मुसलमान और सिखों में अलग बात कर रहा है? कौन ये कह रहा है कि हम लोग अलग अलग हैं? कौन? वही तो रेडिकलाइजेशन कर रहे हैं.
CBI registered a preliminary inquiry in the alleged football fixing case. Now, according to sources, CBI visited Delhi-based All India Football Federation headquarters and sought more information about the clubs and their investments in connection with alleged match fixing in football. Congress MLA from Madhya Pradesh's Dhar was booked in the alleged rape case. An FIR under rape has been registered. He was also been accused of mentally harassing the woman. A second CCTV footage of the Shraddha murder accused Aftab that was accessed. The CCTV that dated 18th October around 4 a.m. in the wee hours of the morning when Aftab was spotted with a backpack. Police suspects that Aftab was on his way to dispose the body parts of Shraddha. In a massive breakthrough in Shraddha murder case, some parts of the skull were recovered. Meanwhile, Delhi police has moved the application for carrying out a polygraph test of accused Aftab. A narco test will be conducted only after the polygraph test. It's a second new sting by the BJP against the Aam Aadmi Party over the Vasuli Gate claim. BJP has claimed that Aam Aadmi Party's Saurabh Bhardwaj, Gopal Rai and Atishi are involved. BJP claims that Gopal Rai's aide demanded cash for ticket in installments. BJP also claims that more than 80 lakh rupees were offered for the Rohini ticket. BJP has demanded the arrest of these AAP MLAs.
रहकर आम आदमी पार्टी के दफ्तर के अंदर से आम आदमी पार्टी के नेताओं के बीच में से जिस प्रकार के स्टिंग उभर कर आ रहे हैं, ये अपने आप में दिखाता है कि भ्रष्टाचार के दलदल में अरविंद केजरीवाल जी और उनकी आम आदमी पार्टी आज डूबी हुई है, पूरी तरह से सनी हुई है।
The Mathura murder case has been cracked by the cops. 21-year-old Ayushi, who was found dumped in the red suitcase, was actually killed by her family. Her father shot her dead.
The Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway, in which several people suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred at the Navale Bridge after a suspected brake failure. Emergency operations by the fire department were carried out successfully after a fire broke out at the temple of Rajagopuru in Bhadrakali Amman temple in Sivakasi in Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu. And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawala within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani Mahatre and Karan Beheri, former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with this case. Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital.
Thank you for staying with Republic. And well, BJP in Kolkata held protests in the state against the TMC minister Akhil Giri, who was recently in the news for insulting President Draupadi Murmu. We're getting you all the details in this report.
BJP is demanding more stricter actions against Akhil Giri, this person, this MLA, who had uttered all these words against the president. BJP, especially its Mahila Morcha wing, we can see Loket Chatterjee, as you pointed out. Apart from that, we also see Agnimitra Paul, and also is present Shukanto Mojumdar, state BJP president. On the other hand, there are actually two rallies, just to remind you. One rally is coming from the Assembly of West Bengal. Shubhendu Adhikari is leading that rally. Another rally from going towards Dharmatala is planned from Central Avenue BJP office. These two rallies, huge, enormous rallies with supporters, BJP supporters and Mahila Morcha workers demanding strict actions against Akhil Giri. And they are demanding not only actions but to remove Akhil Giri from his positions. These two rallies are supposed to meet at his planet, and they will be sitting for a dharna, for a protest against Akhil Giri.
Change the game.
भाजपा का जाने का टाइम आ गया है। अब गुजरात के अंदर नई राजनीति होगी। 27 साल से जो ये लोग लूट रहे थे, अब इसको बंद करने का टाइम आ गया।
Will the BJP buck the trend?
ગુજરાત ને નફરત ફેલાવનારા લોકો એમને ગુજરાત ક્યારેય સ્વીકાર કરતું જેમણે ગુજરાતને બદનામ કરવાની કોશિશ કરી છે આ ગુજરાતની જનતા એમને વાળી ચોળીને સાફ કરી નાખ્યા છે.
December 8th with Arnab.
And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawala within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani Mahatre and Karan Beheri, former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with this case. Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot. A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept her body in the car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began emanating from the car in which the body was kept. The police have arrested the suspect and a probe has been initiated. The Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people after at Vesh.
A major fire broke out at the Bhadrakali Amman temple in Shivakashi in Tamil Nadu. The fire broke out at the upper part of the temple tower known as the Rajagopuram. Two fire tenders were deployed at the site to douse the fire. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. The fire is suspected to have caused due to the firecrackers used for a domestic function in the neighborhood. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
મારા માટે આશીર્વાદ માંગશો. ખૂબ ખૂબ ધન્યવાદ. ભારત માતા की, ભારત માતા की, ભારત માતા की.
Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot. A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept her body in the car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began emanating from the car in which the body was kept. The police have arrested the suspect and a probe has been initiated. The Karbi Anglon police... A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex-gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control.
Will the opposition change the game?
भाजपा का जाने का टाइम आ गया है। अब गुजरात के अंदर नई राजनीति होगी। 27 साल से जो ये लोग लूट रहे थे, अब इसको बंद करने का टाइम आ गया।
Will the BJP buck the trend?
ગુજરાતને નફરત ફેલાવનારા લોકો એમને ગુજરાત ક્યારેય સ્વીકાર કરતું જેમણે ગુજરાતને બદનામ કરવાની કોશિશ કરી છે, આ ગુજરાતની જનતા એમને વાળી ચોળીને સાફ કરી નાખ્યા છે.
December 8th with Arnab. Several people, including 8 children, were killed on Sunday after a truck rammed into a roadside settlement in Bihar's Vaishali district.
Very shocking incident coming to light from UP, where ex-lover has been arrested in killing of a woman whose body was chopped and found in a well.
BJP MLA MP Kumaraswamy was beaten up by angry villagers near the Kudhur district in Mudiger. Sources said that there was a public outcry against the authorities.
Terrorist Sharik posed with the bomb before the attack. Republic is exposing the plot. Mangaluru blast accused Sharik was arrested. He was let off on bail for a pro-Lashkar graffiti in the year 2020. From Coimbatore to Mangaluru, jihadi terror in South India cannot be ignored anymore. Fugitive Zakir Naik is invited